So, my name is Bernard Dolinek and I'm the CEO of Mercedes-Benz Iraq Bright Castle Motors. So, only very recently we had a survey conducted based on 1.4 million data points on the perception of the Mercedes-Benz brand in Iraq, and we're very proud to have achieved the first place. So, Mercedes-Benz is at the moment considered the most valuable premium brand here in Iraq. So, amongst the premium competitors, we are leading the pack. That is very encouraging, and if you look into the total brand perception of consumers here in Iraq at the moment, we even rank on the 4th place compared to all other brands as well. Yeah, so in the Kurdish market, we are still seeing a very strong demand on premium cars in general, but also on Mercedes-Benz. I think the next level of interest for us is that we see that there is a stronger demand for customers that actually specify that Bright Castle Motors original imported cars are different than other ones. And people are getting more and more aware of this, and people are actually now asking for having a BCM Mercedes and not only a Mercedes. So we're seeing this trend in the market. Yeah, the model mix is nowadays more driven by the supply potential. The global car industry is still disrupted from the logistics and the chip shortages, but we see a very strong demand on our new C-Class, which we've launched very recently. The new C-Class with the center console has a very strong acceptance for our consumers in Iraq, which is going very well. Volume-wise, the C-Class and the E-Class are always cars that have been a volume driver for the brand. And obviously here in the market we have the GLE and the GLS cars that are very much catered to the slightly more off-road conditions when people go for a picnic. But of course then we have our flagship, which is the S-Class, and not to forget the GT sports car. That is a sports car but with a high ground clearance. So we have a very good mix of the different models, and through supply and marketing we support that customers get the car that they desire. Yeah, so we had a couple of great events this year already. One was obviously the launch of the C-Class, but we were sold out very quickly. We will focus on the new C-Class model year arriving very shortly as well. And then also I'm very pleased to announce the principle that thanks to the continuous investment of Bright Castle Motors into Mercedes-Benz partnership, we have been granted now the rights officially to launch the Maybach brand here in Iraq, which is going to be a dedicated department and team. We are going to launch the Maybach very shortly. The cars are already specified specifically for Iraq. That's always very important. There will be an event and there will be a date when we launch, but this we will announce at the later stage. Yeah, so linking to your previous question, people are more and more aware now of the original versus grey imports of Mercedes-Benz. I'm sure this applies to other brands as well. Now, given that we are very much paying emphasis on this, people are now aware that the engines that we bring are specifically designed to be suitable for the fuel economy, for the fuel specifications here in Iraq. Most vehicles have a Euro 4 engine, which is very different to cars that come from the GCC countries. And we do also have the AMG engines, but with a setting that is suitable for the country. The technical features that are very important to mention are the specific cooling agent for the air condition, the specific of the engine cooling, and of course the warranty. Warranty for original cars is 3 years, and this is one of the trends. People are starting to pay more attention to those things, to have a peace of mind when you buy a car, and especially when you buy a luxury car. The trust that they put into the original importer is growing, and that's one of the trends that we are supporting, and hopefully we will find more people to talk about that. The general market trend at the moment maybe is again linked to the fact that warranty is one of the topics that people pay more attention. Linked to the original specifications also, the resale value of a car after its lifetime is higher. If you have a car that is originally produced for Iraq, has a warranty, if you sell it again after a year, the resale value is much higher. So nowadays the BCM badge that you see on each of our car is actually becoming a very valuable asset, and therefore it's definitely, we are setting the trend by gaining the trust of our customers with those products. Yeah, so the car market overall in Iraq last year was somewhere short of 100,000 units. This year it's likely going to be more like 120,000. There is general increase in the market. This is of course also mirrored in Kurdistan. Erbil particularly is a region where we see more people moving to, therefore the car demand generally is still very robust. We were very lucky with the work of the team. We've increased our market share. So the Mercedes-Benz market share is growing. The BCM share of Mercedes is growing as well. And linked to a growing market and our growth in the market share overall, we've grown our business substantially against last year, and we attempt to do so next year as well. So there is every now and then the discussion about electrical vehicles here in Iraq, although the demand at the moment is factually very, very low. There are a few early adopters. They like the performance in the acceleration of electrical vehicles when you start driving. Still, the question remains in the head of many consumers whether the charging capability is there. The infrastructure at the moment does not support EVs in the way as it does in other countries. In some European markets you have EV adoption rates of 60 to 80% on new vehicle sales. We don't even measure it at the moment. We will continue to be at the forefront of everything that we introduce in Iraq. EVs is part of this journey, but certainly not in an accelerated speed. We will bring a couple of models, we will show it to customers, and we will see how the demand is. But we do have at the moment the first step. The first step is a sort of an intermediary option. We have mild hybrid in our vehicles today. Mild hybrid you can find in example the S-Class that we have here in the back of us. This means you have a combustion engine, but there is an additional electrical engine that helps the acceleration of the car. An internal combustion engine is a heavy machine that needs running, and in order to jumpstart the acceleration we have this mild hybrid option, which brings you anywhere between 20 and 30 additional horsepower. So we have this in the cars today. And the fully electrical will be then the next step, which of course will still require that we educate consumers how to charge the cars in the future. So one part of your question is geared towards the European cars. European cars, first of all, have the wrong specifications for the entire region, not only for Iraq, but also for the region. First of all, because you have very different climate conditions. The air condition and the engine cooling from European cars do not work here. So it is very important that we also send the right message to all our customers. There is no warranty on any grey imported Mercedes cars in Iraq. It's very important. Secondly, when you compare our cars with the GCC cars, again, we are bringing Euro 4 engines. Those engines are specifically designed for the fuel specification in Iraq, because the burning temperature, this is what this whole thing is about, requires a different setting in the ECU. So we have engineered this together with the factory that we make sure we bring engines that are suitable for Iraq. So that's even in the region there is a differentiation between GCC and Iraq and European cars as well. But again, most importantly, only BCM imported cars have a warranty. No other Mercedes-Benz has any international warranty in Iraq. So this seems to be a misconception. So Mercedes has never removed cars from Iraq. This is not the case. What happened about, I think, 9 or 10 years ago was that there was a change in the dealership, but these are normal processes and it's continuously always been serviced. That's very clear. So no, there was never a removal of cars off the market. But what we do have, and this is a global system that is set up not only for Bright Castle Motors, but for the whole world, that you have continuous developments on vehicles, and this is the so-called recall campaigns. Every manufacturer has recalls when parts are being replaced or a software has to be updated. Nowadays cars are more like a rolling supercomputer. We have about 1,000 to 1,200 semiconductors in every car, and those semiconductors continuously develop. If you buy a car today, the software and the entertainment systems and settings that are going to be developed next year or in 2 years' time, we will still be able to also mirror in the existing cars. So these are the updates. This is another reason why it is important to have a BCM original car, because those software updates are for free. Consumers always have the possibility to come here and we update the car according to that, and we always make sure that people are safe on the road at any time. Door Spaß. Thank you very much. Well, I am driving mostly on Gulan Street and 120-meter road. This is just my personal routine. However, I do drive to Suleymaniye by myself. I do go to Shaklawa with my car. Absolutely no problem. So the roads are good enough. Our cars, they can sustain all of those.